Well, I think it's a combination of both. It's probably more of this disastrous what's so-called a mini budget plan by Chancellor Quatton. This is according to Larry Summer, the previous Treasury Secretary of the United States. According to his words, it's a very naive plan, and I totally agree with that. I think it's essentially a replica of the trickle down, Reagan economics type of stimulus package, and I think a situation in England is very different in the sense that it already has a very high level of debt, and the money needed to borrow by the government is astronomical. It's going to be $500 billion reportedly. This is something that is going to have a serious impact on the British economy. So I think it's a combination of both this budget plan as well as the continuous strengthening of the U.S. dollar attributed to the rate hikes in the United States. We all know the famous saying about the U.S. dollar. It's Americans' currency, but the world's problem. Every time the United States Feds raise interest rates, it's going to have a rippling effect across the globe. And I don't think the European Union and, in this case, United Kingdom are immune to that. And I think the European economy is particularly being hit hard because also, as we know, because of the inflationary pressures of as a result of the commodity price run-ups. Europe imports a lot of gas and oil from Russia. Now it's not, it's driving energy costs. When energy costs goes up, people's expenditures that can be spent on other things is going to be curtailed, and that's going to be affected in the economy. The Fed's thinking is only about the U.S. domestic economy. In this case, it's all about inflation. You couldn't care less about what's happening in Europe, what's happening in UK, and the rest of the world. It's a dire political issue. Any government in the United States that cannot curtail inflation, cannot solve this problem, it's going to be voted out. So I think from Biden's administration's perspective, the top priority right now is to control the price level and fight inflation. And the only tool the Fed has right now is just keep raising interest rates. It doesn't have anything else to do that. This is the only probably it's the only option right now. Now, what's good for the economy in the U.S. right now is because it can afford doing this, but because the problem with the U.S. economy is overheating in demand. If you look at the job market, if you look at consumer expenditures, they're not that bad actually. Right before the rate hikes and around the rate hikes, so it can have some more leeway to keep doing that. And I would expect that the Fed will steadfastly increase interest rates, several more rounds for the rest of the year and maybe well into the next year as well.